Hello and welcome to my tour of the retro gaming area at Level Up Expo, which happened a week or so ago. And this is run by an organization called Retro World Series. They go around the country holding retro video game tournaments, and they also set up a free play area where you can just sit down, see what they have, and play a retro video game. And I'm just going to show people what they had at Level Up Expo. First off, let's start off with Combat. Combat is for Atari, and I don't have that much to say about Atari because I didn't have one. And we go to the left, and I don't even know what this game is, but it's on Atari, so I took footage of it anyway because I just like seeing the Atari since I didn't have one. My first console was an NES, and if you know what this game is, you're welcome to tell me. I'm sorry if I don't know every single game that I'm looking at right here. I just like to look at retro video games whether or not I've had experience playing them. We go to the left, and here's NBA Jam. And I think I took footage of this because it's running on a Sega Saturn. And since the Sega Saturn didn't succeed, you rarely get to see them as much as the Sony PlayStation. And so to get to see a Saturn in person up close is kind of neat, even though I couldn't touch it. You see that sign there that says do not touch. Moving on, I'm not sure what game this is. I know there's someone out there yelling at me. It's probably Double Dragon. I'm not sure though, because it's running on a Sega Genesis. And I didn't think of Double Dragon as a Sega Genesis game. It could be. Let's go behind us, and we're gonna see Crash Bandicoot Racing on Sony PlayStation. Super Mario Kart started the kart racing genre, and so lots of major franchises made their own kart racing games. Crash Bandicoot Racing. Today there's like Nickelodeon Kart Racing. There's even Hello Kitty Kart Racing today. What game is this? I believe this is Rayforce, but don't quote me on that. It's on Sony PlayStation. I don't even know why I took footage of this. It's not a game I'm really familiar with, and I'm not even 100% sure that I have the right game title, but I think it's Rayforce. And it's a shooting game. I'm not really into shooting games. I'm not really into games where you just shoot stuff that comes at you. Here's Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon helped establish the Sony PlayStation as one of the major players in the video game universe. And when you think of the PlayStation 1, you think of games like this. PlayStation had games like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon as their mascots. Moving on, we have a fighting game here, and I'm sorry that I don't know what game it is, but I think I took footage of this because I thought that the red Dreamcast was kind of neat, and you see the red Dreamcast controller as well. And I wish I knew what fighting game that was, but that is a red Dreamcast, red and yellow. I don't know if it's painted. I don't know why there would be a red Dreamcast. Alright, we have here WWE SmackDown on Sony PlayStation 2. Now, I love WWE, so I probably love this game, but I haven't tried it. Maybe I should. We move on to Burnout 3. I haven't really played much of the Burnout series, but I'm always impressed by their graphics. It looks like it's moving really fast. It's running on a PS2, and it's something I should play. Here we have Battletoads, one of the hardest games ever. It's running on an NES, and from what I understand, you can't beat this game with two players. You have to beat it as one player. Just going through the levels by yourself is so hard that most people just quit. It's a really hard game. You just have to keep practicing it until you memorize it. Dr. Mario on NES. Now, I'm not really into puzzle games, but I like Dr. Mario. I like the music in Dr. Mario. It has great theme songs. And other than that, it's a standard puzzle game where you just match the colors together, but again, it has great music. Now we're going to move to the right, and we're going to look at Mega Man 2 on NES. All the great NES games. Mega Man 2 still holds up today. I would consider it the greatest mainline Mega Man game of all time. Fantastic music, excellent soundtrack, maybe the best video game soundtrack I've ever heard in my life. I would go look up any Mega Man 2 cover with real instruments, and they all sound fantastic. Here's some kind of Tetris game running on a SNES, and I don't know what Tetris game this is. I'm not a Tetris game expert. I just know the original NES Tetris game and the Game Boy Tetris game, and those are the two ones that I know. I don't know which one this is, but I'm sure it's fun. Here's Kirby Superstar on SNES. And this one had 8 Kirby games in one, so it's kinda neat. I didn't have this game, so I haven't really played through it. It looks like fun. Any Kirby game is fun. I've never played a bad Kirby game in my life. They've all either been A or B games. They've never been really bad games, ever. And it looks fun, it looks cute. That's essentially what Kirby is. Fun and cute, and I'm sure it's a good time. We move, we move to the right, and here's F-Zero on SNES. And it says you lost. F-Zero, everyone knows F-Zero. It made great use of Mode 7 graphics on SNES. It's a fast-moving game. A lot of people missed the series and they wish they would make a full-fledged F-Zero game, although there is F-Zero 99. We move on to Mario Kart 64 on Nintendo 64. And this game was kind of neat because you had 4-player split screen if you had 4 players in the same room. And that was unheard of at the time. You see the 4 controller ports on the Nintendo 64. And other than that, it's just Mario Kart. It's really fun. There you see the 4 players split screen. Well, that's not 4 players, but you see how they split up the 4 screens when there is 4 players. And Mario Kart 64, it's a lot of fun, although it's frustrating to get hit by a blue shell. Pokemon. I'm not into Pokemon. This is some kind of Pokemon puzzle game on Nintendo 64. I'm sure Pokemon fans will have a good time playing this. I don't know what game this is exactly. Pokemon Puzzle League. I'm just taking a guess at what game this is. To the right, we have another Pokemon puzzle game. I'm not a Pokemon fan. I know that's so surprising. I should probably turn in my Nintendo fan card. Pokemon Puzzle Village? That's a neat map though. I kind of like how that map is drawn. It looks like a very happy place. Crash Tag Team Racing. I think I took footage of this game just because of the controller. They had one of the earliest Xbox controllers out here. This one is the Xbox S Series. It's just kind of unusual because it has the white and the black buttons on the bottom right. And you wouldn't expect those 2 buttons to be there. Otherwise, it's a standard controller that we know. We know the 4 face buttons, the 2 analog sticks, the D-pad. But that black and white button is definitely different. I did have an original Xbox, and I mainly just use it for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Alright, what game is this? Is it... I'm gonna take a guess. Is it Def Jam? It's some kind of wrestling game featuring gangsters. I don't know what game it is. Whatever game this is, it looks very violent. And it's probably not something I would want to play. Okay, this is Halo running on Xbox. I did have Halo 2 when I had an Xbox. But I didn't really play it that much. I wasn't that good at it. And if someone tried to play me in Halo today, they would probably dominate me because I don't know what I'm doing in Halo. That's most of the retro video game area at Level Up Expo, run by Retro World Series. They go around the country to different conventions, so check out their schedule and see what convention they'll make their presence known at next. And that's my video. I'll try to make another one soon. Thank you for watching, and peace out.